Hello, and welcome to the Everyday Board Game Podcast with your hosts, Daniel.
And Daniel.
Just in the nick of time, isn't it?
For people that don't know, behind the scenes, pull back the curtain, I've been waiting to record for the last 15 minutes because we're doing a bulk recording today.
Yeah, we are doing a bulk recording, and I had to throw my list together. I was already working on a preliminary list, and then I had forgotten what our list was. And then to the point where oh yeah, this is what it is. Cool. Let me just jot this down real quick and double check a couple things. And then I found a few other games I had to look into, and thus going into that.
And we have someone coming over who is supposed to be here within a certain amount of time,
Correct,
and you're cutting into the actual recording time.
Right. But we'll be good because this kind of episode, when we talk about our Chits and Giggles, our anticipated games list,
yeah.
The thing is, we know so little about these games, like just of what we've researched into, what we are getting excited about it, why we're getting excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many reasons there's so many reasons why we're excited about it, but the fact is, we don't know these games yet. And so...
And the big part about it, too, is we don't know these games even more so than we usually do because we weren't able to go to the GAMA Expo this year.
That's right. So really, we're just going to go by hearsay, what we know a little bit about it, explain why we're anticipating these games and why we think that they'll be great in our collections, and
and why we're looking forward to playing them, too.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we're acting off of each other's channels. Now, real quick, how much crossover do you think we're going to have?
Oh, not a lot. Maybe one, possibly two.
Yeah, I would say two. I'm going to guess two in ours. So we'll throw out some honorable mentions, too, at the end of our list, if we have time, of course, permitting. But, yeah, I mean, also, after the episode, after you're done listening to it, whether you're listening to it through podcast, if there's any kind of comment section, let us know your thoughts on what games you're anticipating for 2025. Again, the GAMA Expo just came out, so a lot of announcements happened there, although we don't know for sure what announcements. I did talk with a shop owner who did go to the GAMA Expo just recently, and he said that a lot of the announcements were done like a week before, and they just kind of reiterated those. So he's like, I don't know how many announcements
that's kind of how they did the GAMA Expo last year, too,
is
that they announced it beforehand, and then...
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of the games they were pushing last year were already announced throughout the year, and they were showcasing it for businesses and stuff like that. So.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm curious to see what's coming out this next year. Very excited about it. In fact, one of these games that I put on my list, I literally just found out about 10 minutes ago while putting this list together. Because I just saw it, like I was browsing through...
He's not lying, 10 minutes ago.
There's a section in Board Game Geek, which if you haven't looked at, is a really fascinating section. It's called the Gone Cardboard section. And what it is, it's all like the upcoming releases, but not specifically upcoming releases. It's ones that have been added to Board Game Geek, but they're not sure if they're published yet or if they're going to be published. And you can put it by year of like when it's supposed to come out. And some of them don't even have dates on it because they're like, yeah, they were announced, but... You know, it's little to no information about it. So I from time to time, I like to peruse through that section just to see what's happening. And one game caught my eye. I was like, oh, that's cool.
10 minutes before we start recording.
Yeah, and then I saw one more factor about it. I was like, oh, that's on the list, right? And I will get more into detail when that arises. Purely by the cover and one other factor in it.
All right. So with that being said, let's get into our segment beforehand. What have you been playing?
All right. So I've been playing a lot of games lately. I've made up for the past few weeks.
Have not played much.
I know. I've definitely made up for it. The first one I want to talk about is an oldie but a goodie. A couple of my friends came over for my weekly game night. A couple of friends who don't get to come over all that often. And they're like, we want more of like a silly party game. It's like, cool, I got that. And my friend Jim... Our mutual friend Jim, he recommended a game that we hadn't played since I've been tracking in the app. And so I pulled it off the shelf, we played it, and everybody was immediately enamored with it the moment I pulled out the foam guns. And we started aiming at each other. Cash and Gun 2nd Edition. They didn't even know this game was a thing. And as I pulled out like the Uzi promo and like the giant revolver and stuff. So, you know, we were just playing the base rules, but it was just absolute shenanigans. One of my friends, he's a little more serious of a gamer. He didn't really like the fact that there was player elimination. And I think because I picked the game, he targeted me every turn.
Well, you didn't pick the game. It was just recommended to you.
It was recommended. I just happened to own it. But Cashing Guns is just always a riot.
It's a fun shenanigans. I played the Harry Potter version of this.
Oh,
It's just as fun. Except for the difference with the Harry Potter, I think it combines an expansion from the original.
Oh, sure.
Where you play as a team.
Oh, cool. Yeah. The tag team one was...
Yeah.
Or the team play one.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the expansion was called, but yeah, there is a tag team one. But yeah, I mean, that's really fun. I like it a lot. I still remember it. I agree with our friend Gamehead Geek. He wants to put in an aluminum case and stuff to really up the production. It's like, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, honestly. No, that sounds pretty cool. It's a fun game. I do like it a lot.
Yeah, Cashing Guns.
All right, so the first game I'm going to talk about is a game you and me both played. This is what we call the epitome of a Damn It Dom game. We were enamored with this one. We enjoyed playing it, and this is Fromage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, Fromage.
For such a simple little mechanism, and it's basically you're putting stuff out on this, I guess you can say a Lazy Susan, really what it is, this board, and you have to time it just right because you can't take your stuff back until it starts pointing at you again. Just that little twist was fantastic, but the fact that you're playing in like different sections of the board, there's certain things you can and cannot do, and the timing about it, and you got to make sure you have the berries and you have the jam to make the certain amount of cheese. This is a fun little game that did not take forever, and you and me were just like, as we were playing along, we're like,
Yeah. It's like, this is going to do this. Yeah.
And so the whole time we're just thinking and we're humming to ourselves, and when we're done, we're like, holy crap, I really enjoyed that game.
Right.
And it was kind of a shock to us. We knew we were going to like it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did.
Yeah, same here.
It's well produced, for one thing. I like the fact that it's very simple to streamline it down for less than 4 players by basically whatever you're sliding into the Lazy Susan board.
Yep.
Man, I'm surprised. I put it here in my little smart note here. It's a smart design choice because it leaves to making you feel clever when you do certain things right, and it's a smart decision points, and everybody could do whatever they want because it's asymmetrical powers in a sense, but you could all do something differently and still have a chance to win the game.
Absolutely.
So it was a fantastic game, and this is Fromage.
Yeah, Fromage. Oh my gosh, yeah, this was... I've always been really impressed with this company's like production quality. Like, they made that globe roll and write one that's really fascinating. I need to bring that over and show you. I don't think you'll love it, but I think you'll find it really fun just because of what it does. But then they also made Canvas and stuff, so it's like their production is really really impressive. Road to Infamy is the company. Yeah.
I just got my big box of Canvas in this. I gotta put that.
You gotta
into
show
the
me
big box.
that later.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It's really neat because everything slides out like it's like art supplies.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's so cool. And I mean, like, on top of it, like, I wasn't enamored with Canvas. Like, I thought it was fine. Like,
Yeah,
it was okay for what it was going to do.
Canvas turned out to be one of my favorite card crafting games.
Yeah. I appreciated what it was doing. I just have enough games that do the same thing that I didn't need another one. That was my reason.
No, I get it, yeah.
But the Globe one, I loved Globetrotters. That's the name of it. And then, but when I played Fromage, I was like, okay, it's probably fine. It looks more traditional of a game than what they tend to make. I like the, their gimmick, right? Yeah. I always like their gimmick. I was like, I don't really see a gimmick other than like the rotating board, but sure, other games have done that. Yeah. And we played it and we're like, oh, this is cool. This is neat.
This is really neat. I like what it's doing.
This shouldn't be as fun as it is. And it plays quick and it's so good. Fromage, awesome. Good choice. The next one I played is a game that you've been wanting to play, and I finally got it to the table, and I'm sorry I didn't bring it over for you. I don't know if you have it. It's Wild Style.
Wild Style? Oh, yeah, it's the graffiti game. I do not own it. I had a chance to pick it up on a deal. I just haven't played it.
So it came out around the time that the ski game came out.
Skate Summer, and there was Wild Space was another one that came out around that time.
Yeah, exactly. And so all those games kind of fell in by the wayside. I feel like a lot of them didn't get talked about too much. The Skate Summer,
Skull Canyon Ski Fest.
Skull Canyon Ski Fest. Yes, those are the three that I kind of put together. And at first I thought it was going to be something similar, right? Because both Skate Summer and, from what I understand, the ski one is like both of like a card game, right? In a sense, right?
Yeah. The Skull Canyon is kind of like a Ticket to Ride style.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And so what makes this different is that you're trying to complete sets. You know, if you get 3 of the same symbol, you can put your tag token on it, and you're playing out. You each get 6 additional tag tokens each time, which are these cool acrylic discs that work pretty well. But what makes this game totally different, it's all real time. You're not waiting for anybody, and that's the big part, is that, you have multiple discard piles you could chuck them into, you can pull them up, you can grab those cards, you're trying to play them in front of you to get sets. Once you get 3 of a kind, you drop it down, put the token down, and one of the fun parts was that, as we were playing it, I remember I was like, alright, I need that empty spot, I need to connect these 2 groups, let's go this, I need a rail line, alright, I'll do this, I'll get that. And I was like, great, I got 3 rail lines. I look up, and Jim's token is already on, and I'm like, what? No. And so you have that like normally that's not very fun, but at that point I was just like that was just silly, and it caused it caused me to have to like completely work around him in a fun way, and I got like way more paranoid as I was playing out the cards. It was just good, silly fun. It's quick, it works pretty well. The production is not amazing. Mm-hmm. The boards are a little busy, which isn't too bad. But the biggest problem that I had with it is that the cards, they don't feel well. And since you're handling them so much and so fast, like the fact that they don't spread well, it's kind of a chintzy quality, wasn't great. And then on top of it...
Which is weird, because Pandasaurus is really good about their card quality.
Right, and it's... you could tell that they had to cut down a little bit of production for that.
Okay.
But one of the things, like the acrylic discs, although they were great, once they're on the board... You can kind of see some of the other ones that's under it, but not really. And it kind of blocks like what you did and what you're going for. And because all of them score at the end of the game, too. You're also just trying to get extra things. So it's kind of like a Ticket to Ride, but in real time. As weird as that sounds. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to get rid of it. And I think I'll show you eventually, just because I think you would find it pretty intriguing.
But, I like those little card games, so...
Oh, yeah.
That's really what it is a card game that comes in a pretty big box.
Yeah, it really is, right? Yeah, I mean, it definitely could be that same aspect.
Yeah.
And they did a decent production for it, but yeah, there it is, Wild Style, Pandasaurus.
All right, so the next game on my list here is a small little card game, in a sense. It's bigger, the box that it comes in is bigger than it really needs to be, but I know it for its shelf space. It's one that came by, Arcane Wonders brought this over to America. And I've really enjoyed it so far, the plays I've had of it. And I've played it about 5 times since I got it. And this is called Ito.
Oh, yeah.
It's a cool little...
I almost bought it the other day.
It's a cool little mix of, like, timeline and fun facts.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I like to say, it's a better version of the mind. You can talk in this one, for one thing. And the other thing, too, is you're still trying to get the numbers played properly. But you're doing it kind of like in a timeline order. So you're going to have a number card, and you're going to have a question. And so what you're trying to do is place that number in the proper part of the timeline. So say the question is, what is the best superhero power? And say I got something in the middle of the road. Or what I had, and this was the best clue I could have. I had a number 2. So it's not a really good power. So I had to be very specific what I said. And I was like, it's the Family Guy episode where they all get superpowers, but Meg gets the little long fingernails. And I placed it in front of the timeline. I got Meg's power, long fingernails. And so I had to explain it for everybody. And my buddy looked at me. He's like, that is an apt description. That's a low card. And so I was able to place it there. And then everybody was talking about like telekinesis and flying and stuff like that. And I'm like, nope, I'm sticking with where mine's at. And we got the timeline right. And so as you're playing along through that timeline, I would love to play this with big groups. And like I said, it's like timeline meets fun facts. So you're getting to know certain people by placing the numbers. You're trying to give the answer. You're trying to defend your answer, all like a super fight. But you're working cooperatively. And then once you start going into the advanced games, you're adding more cards. So normally, if you're playing a 4-player game, you're playing 1 card out on the tableau. And if it's right, you win. If it's wrong, you're gone. However, when you're playing the advance, somebody's going to have to play 2 cards, or multiple people are going to have to play 2 cards. At one point, we were playing a 4-player game, and everybody had to throw out 3 cards. And so your first card, you're like, it's this thing. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at a 47, and a 55, and a 62, and I'm like, this is too close of a spread as we're going. So it's really neat. It's really cool. Not really much artwork and stuff like that, but it is a fun game. It's probably going to be one of those party games that I like to play when you're getting to know family members for the first time, or going over to like a family Christmas, like a Fun Facts, and that is Ito.
Cool. Next game I want to talk about is a series of games. It's called the Mini Crime series. It's from Pegasus Spiel, and I finally finished playing all 6 of them. It's really, really interesting. All it does is it gives you a brief description of the crime scene, and it gives you a single card that's, almost tarot size, maybe a little bit wider, like a double card, and that's the overall crime scene that you can look at, and 10 mini cards, and each of those is a piece of evidence. Now, the way it works is you have to answer 3 questions on it. And depending on how many questions you get right at the end of the case, the more points you're going to get as a group. If you get 1, 2, or 3 questions right, you get 4, 7, or 10 points. Now, you can look at more than 6 cards. That is your limit normally. You can look at 6 for free. But if you get more than that, then it's minus 1 point automatically from your final score. So, if you get all the questions right, but you only have to look at 2 extra cards, it's 8 points, which is still pretty good, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what I really liked about it is that the main crime scene card, all of the evidence cards has like a zoomed in picture of that part, but it doesn't mean that it has all of the information. In fact, we found out that those bigger cards really was valuable to learning about a lot of it. And in a mystery game like this, you don't want to feel completely dumbfounded as you're playing. You want to find that nice balance where you can look into it and go, okay, what is what we're thinking? What is the motive we're thinking here? How do we think the series of events played out? And once you flip over a card and read it out loud, how does that change that theory, and how does that lean you towards like if it was possible or not, right? Mm-hmm. I'm doing this all without spoilers because there's 6 different cases and they're each like $7. They're really inexpensive. And it's awesome. Like it worked. Each of the writing was really fun. I've had a range from anywhere from like 5 points or like 4 points to like a full score, which was awesome. And I'm impressed by it. And looking at the app, because there's not an app, but you scan the barcode, the QR code, and that brings you to the website where you can look at the solution, and it'll play out like a full story, and it'll even give you fun facts about like some of the information about it. And like if it has like something to do with historical events, like why this matters and why they picked this theme and stuff. But they also have mini crime. They have the mini crimes group. They have a whole bunch planned for that. They have a mini dungeons and a mini escape. So it's like a mini escape room thing. And so that has immediately gotten me intrigued for it. And the best part about it is that already it's inexpensive enough where you can sit down and do it for a pretty inexpensive price. But it has a little like high scoreboard where you put your names of who played it and how many stars you got. And then it encourages you to give it to a friend and have them test and see how good they did. And so you could just kind of keep passing along. So even more bang for your buck. Super cool. I'm very impressed with the Mini Crime series.
All right, the next game I'm going to talk about real quick is another one you and me played. This is when we had to play 2-player games, and I'm considering this a Damn It Daniel game because you went out and bought it almost immediately. And this is Pixies from Pandasaurus. Yeah. First off, Johannes Guppy is really kind of hitting me a little
Remind me of the other stuff he's done. He did Letter Jam, right?
Letter Jam, yeah, and I think there was another one that he did. Yeah. But, like, when his name comes out, I'm, like, intrigued by the games that he's doing. He works a lot with Bruno Cathala, and he's one of those French designers that all work together. Yeah. But this one is a neat little card game about really clever drafting. Do I want to draft that 9 because it's going to be really powerful, but I can only get 2 9s. But there's also limited number 9s in the deck, so I got better hope there's a 9 coming up. Right. This way I could score 9 points. But there's only like 6 of them in the entire deck, and it's a pretty giant stack of deck there. The artwork is interesting at best. It's like those little pixie artworks that people build out of walnut shells and stuff like that. It's super cool. It's really neat. Think sea salt paper where they did with origami, with these little pixie things that you see out in forests. But it makes such a smart design choice with way you have to draft. You have a tableau of cards. You take one card, you put it in your grid, and it's a 3x3 grid. The 1s can only ever go in one spot. The 9s can never go to 9 spots. So think about like a phone pad. Yeah. That's exactly how it's going to read. You got 1s and 9s. That's all the numbers are in that entire deck. And every card you draft, you're going to decide after you draft the first one which card is going to be reversed, turned over. So if you draw a 1, that's only going to score you 1 point. when you get it activated, because you have to draw a second one, and then between those two ones you have to decide which one flips down and which one flips up. And the reason why you make that decision, because every X on a card is negative points that round, and every circle is a positive point for that round. And so, but they don't have to be activated. So if they're face up, they're negative or positive throughout the game. Now, the number is also points for you at the game, but they have to be activated, what I was mentioning earlier. But there's a lot of ones in the deck. There's not that many nines in the deck. So it's that push and pull aspect is like, this is going to score me a lot of points. And you play it over 3 rounds. So if I do really bad in the first round, then I could still climb back into the game between the second and third round. I think it's really smart choices, really fun drafting. And it's really interesting art. And Pandasaurus really is hitting these small little card games. I still think Cortisone has been is the weakest one out of all the little card games we've been playing lately. This one is right up there with like Sea Salt and Paper and Gnar for me. I really love the way this one played.
So right after you and I played it, I was like, yeah, okay, this is cute. I like what it does. You know, I was like, it's cheap enough. Let me buy it and show it at the shop because we stocked it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll pick up a copy and I'll start playing it. And I played it with another group or a couple other groups, and it was one of those just sit back and relax. And one of the other players, he's not that much of a gamer.
Yep.
He liked how we were just carrying on our conversation. And it's like, oh, it's your turn. Cool. All right. And then so the other day I told him, oh, I'll take this one. And I told him the other day, and we just carried on hanging out and having fun, but with the game playing in the background, and not like where you could ignore it, but it made it so it's like it's comfortable enough where
to me it's kind of like those games I call like a sipping beer game. Like you're there to hang out, or as I've heard some people call it, like a weekday game. Not a lot of build up, not a lot of thinking. You can have a conversation with your spouse or friend or family, but still playing a game. So Pixies. I agree with everything you just said about it too.
The next one I want to talk about, or the last one I want to talk about, is a game that has possibly one of the neatest productions I've ever seen. This is a 2-player only game.
I was going to say Planet Unknown. We know about that production.
Oh man, this kind of rivals it. The box itself turns into the landscape of the game. It's a 2-player game called Shadow Theater. This is from Space Cowboys.
I think I was there when you bought this.
Yes, you were. We got this from Isle of Games in
Tucson, Arizona.
Yep. So this game, it's a 2-player only game, which I already really like 2-player games from Space Cowboys, which is where this is from. The box itself has this beautiful Shadow Theater-esque art. It opens up and it has the insert, where the insert is like a tray that folds down. You open it up, and that's the compartments for all the pieces. You lay out the board, you unfold it, and then you put the box open up with the insert folded down, and it makes this like theater scene, and it's beautiful. The board itself has it's a double layer board, so it has spots for the characters to go. You have screen printed Monkey King meeple, and you have little monkeys, you have little peaches, and you have little jade tokens. And you have some cards that have special... Yeah, you heard me. And it has extra cards called like the Dragonlance cards or whatever. The Dragon... I forget what they're called, but they're like weapons. And
Dragonlance, those are a great series.
Yeah, I haven't read them yet.
They're so fantastic.
On your turn, it's very simple. You have some monkey tokens, and you either put one out to one of the 3 locations and take its action, or you take all of the monkey tokens from one location. That's it. That's all you do. And then you have about 4 different supplies, and when one of those runs out, you score up. And the way it scores is pretty cool. Jade is worth 2 points per 2 points for every 3 jade tokens you have. So kind of like 1.5, right? But 2 points are awarded to the player who has the most between those. So that's cool. Monkeys aren't worth anything. Peaches aren't worth anything. But peaches can feed up to 3 of your monkeys. Each fed monkey is worth a point. So you have more points there, but you got to have enough peaches to justify it. The cards that you're getting, they're 1 point each, but some of them are worth 2 points, but they don't have a special ability for it. And the thing is, you have to move the Monkey King around, because if you have one of those special cards, you can play it if he is at the corresponding location and take the ability that it shows on it, which will normally be either get other tokens, or manipulate the Monkey King, or take extra turns, or steal a token from another player, or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And then finally, you have 8 little tiles that you shuffle out deal 2 to each player, and you choose one of the 2 each round to use, and that'll give you a bonus way to score points or an activated ability that you use throughout the game. It's a really clever little game. When I first bought it, I didn't know anything about it other than it's like, this looks really cool. It looks like my style. I like 2-player. This is pretty production. It looks like a cool little mechanism, nice, simple. Then I learned how to play it. I was like, this looks almost too simple. Like, I don't know if it's just going to be like a quick little, like, I do this, you do that, and then we're over. It's like, you beat me, kind of war thing.
I hate it already.
Yeah, I know. It's a 2-player game, right? There you go. But then me and my son...
Gotta play into the memes.
Yep. Me and my son played it, and then where it's like, oh, this has more legs than it gives, which is exactly the right kind of flavor I want. I want real simple, really elegant design, and then suddenly it's like, man, if only I did this differently, I could have won. You had a chance here. And it's super smart. Shadow Theater... And it has some tagline, something of the Monkey King. I don't know if you want to tap to that, but Shadow Theater will find it.
All right, the last game I'm going to talk about before we get into our actual topic here is a game that you and me played recently, last week.
I know which one this is coming up with.
Yeah, and it was so good.
Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I'm surprised it took me so long to get this played. Mind you, I just bought a copy of it, but this game has been out for a while. And I thought it was so clever. We had a whole discussion about this game and the other games we played that night because this one made the other 2 games we played made those games pale in comparison.
Oh yeah, by far.
Because it was a fantastic game, and this game is Hadara.
Hadara.
I really love it. It's a nice little Civilization theme game. Not really a lot of Civ in there, really but the flavor's there. It's just it's very. But what I really and I still think about when I think about this game. Is that it's got 2 very fun slight drafting mechanisms. It's like first player gets to decide where everybody we're taking cards from, and then it just rotates until all the cards are gone in the first part of this thing. Then we get all our income and stuff like that. And then we go into the second round and we do a second clever draft. And so the first draft is you get 2 cards based on the section that your player board is pointing to, in a sense, because you have a logo for your player board, and it's pointing to which deck of cards you're drafting from. You take 2 cards, and you got a choice. You keep one of those cards, and you pay for its cost and put it in your tableau, or you sell it for coins based on the era you're in. So it's 2 points in the first era, 3 points in the second era, and 4 points in the last era. But it is a fantastic game. And the fact that it's so clever about that draft, and you're like, oh, I did this really well, and I did that really well. And what it even makes it even funner when it comes to it is that for every card you pick up, depending on what you have in the tableau, they give you a discount for it costs less. But you got to make sure you have enough food to pay for all those cards that you have in your tableau. You got to feed your people because you're hiring people to join your civilization. Yeah. And if you take cards away, you lower your process on there. And what I really liked about this game is we all did something different, and it was still relatively close. I ran away with it because I went balls to the wall military.
Yeah, you did. It was kind of shocking.
And it's just because I was doing this and I was doing that, and I'm like, oh, I could take this land now, and I could take this land now. Yep. And so it played really well and really clever. And that was just the first part of the game. The second part of the game is when you're doing another draft, you could take one of the cards that is face up for you, and you do it exactly the same way as the other rounds. But you're only choosing 5, maybe 5 cards, depending on how many cards are out there. Towards the end of it, it's like we're only taking population cards because all the other cards have been drafted.
Yep.
And so it's like, oh, I'm going to take this one. I don't really need it. I'm going to sell it for $4, and I left that for you. Oh, God.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah.
I really did enjoy this one. It's never going to leave my collection. In fact, when we do a top 100 somewhere down the line, I could easily see this be in the top 100. That's how much I really liked it, and that is Hadara.
Yeah, it was such a clever way to do that mechanism. I like the drafting mechanism. It wasn't pick and pass. Always a plus.
Yeah.
It let you.
But you still had 5 cards to draw from, too.
You still had 5 cards to draw from. Like, you had plenty of options. You had just cool choices. I was genuinely impressed by how well that worked.
And how simple it was.
Yes. Yeah. How simple it was. It should not have been that clever, and it just did it in spades. That was super cool. So, yeah. No, I agree. That's a game, that's a damn Daniel. Yeah. That is one that I am probably going to seek out just because I was really just happy
enamored with it, yeah.
I was. Yeah, and you're right. The other 2 games we played that night, I remember one of them. I don't remember what the second one we played was.
Ancient Knowledge,
yeah. Those suck comparison. No, no,
they were
they
good
don't.
games.
They're good games, but because we played Hadara first, we're like, it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like we started with the best game.
Yeah, it was so good. All right, good choice, man. Good choice.
All right, going into our 2025 anticipated games, you want to flip the coin of doom?
That's right. How did you... Okay, let's clarify real quick how we made our list.
For one thing, if it came out in 2025 and I already played it, it's not anticipated because I already played it.
Already played, got it.
I just went with the games that I really do want to play. They could be offshoots of games I've already played, but because there's something on it or they turned it into a campaign style game or something like that, that's where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to put on the list because these are the games I really am looking forward to playing. And so that's how I went with mine.
I will say there is one on my list that I have played.
Oh, okay.
I'm one of the very few that have played it, but it is on my list because I have played it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was on my honorable mention. It just missed out.
Yeah,
if we went 10 games, it would have been number 9.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is one that I got to give some love to, but yeah, because I was, well, I mean, not to boast, but I got to play a copy of it.
Yeah,
It was pretty,
I'm looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong.
Pretty dope.
It's just that there's a lot of good, decent games that are coming out this year.
Yep, exactly. So, how did you put yours in order?
Most anticipated game, like which is the one I want to play the most.
Okay.
And another one too is like when I was talking about like I put stuff that I have already sort of played, but these are kind of offshoots. They're towards the back end because they're not like as anticipated.
Yeah.
So.
I'm gonna try and make some predictions of yours. Like I'll write them down here in a bit. I bet I know some of yours that are coming out. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
probably.
Yeah, probably, and you probably know some of mine. Well, you know one now.
I know one.
Yeah, actually, I think it's a very unlikely chance that you'll know many of mine. But let's find out. We're gonna flip the coin of doom. That'll decide who goes first. Here we go. Starting off with our number 8. That'll be me. Mm-hmm. My number 8 is kind of a cheat already. So hear me out.
What else is new?
It's not a single.
I'm not gonna
game.
say anything because my number 8 is also kind of a cheat.
Yeah, it's not just one game. It's a series of 4 games, and there is a reason. So let me explain my bias first. Why is part of it? It's a series of 4 solitaire games coming out from Impatience. It's called the Min Int.
Oh yeah, I knew series. This was gonna be on your list. I thought it was gonna be higher.
Yeah, and so here's
I want to play 3 of the 4 games.
Yeah, right.
One of them is gonna be trash.
One of them's from some no name. No, so my bias. Let's be honest. This is the reason I knew about these other 4 games is because I am one of the 4 designers on that.
One of these things is not like the other.
One of these, yeah. The other 3 designers are people we know, like not just I know, like they're well-known names.
Well known.
Yeah, and so because of that, those 3 I just know about them. And I know the general idea of those 4 games. I know a lot about one of them, but I know the general idea about 3 of the others. And so far, the reviews have been pretty positive. There's Last Minute. This is by Luc Raymond. It's like he's the designer of Sky Team, which I love Sky Team. And
Last Minute, is that the bomb one?
Yes, it's the bomb one.
That's the one I'm least looking forward to. Not that I'm not looking forward to.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Then there's Mayor of Chicago.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Which is by Xavier Georges. Yeah, who made Trois and a bunch of other games. And Frygard, which is a Knizia solo game, which is awesome. So, like, again, take that to the side.
Tell them what the other one is.
It's called Ravel. It's by yours truly, and it is a endlessly resettable puzzle. It's like an Enigma machine kind of theme. And so, but here's the thing, right? I know, talking with Mr. Torby, the owner of the company and who designs Onirim, I know he wanted 4 very different style games, and he picked 4 different artists because of that to show how they're part of the series because they're in the same packaging, but the functionality is a very different thing.
Yeah,
and so that's what makes me intrigued. It's like how I know what mine brings to the table. How are these going to play out differently?
Yeah.
Right, and that's what makes it intriguing to me. So the Min Int series, that's my number 8.
My number 8 is a game I own already a lot of stuff for. You can kind of see it right above my shoulder over there. But this has got a new theme on it, which I am really intrigued about. And this is DC United.
Okay.
I am a huge fan of Marvel United. It's in my top 100 games of all time. I thoroughly enjoy the DC comic book series. I'm a big Batman fan. Superman is not one of my favorites, but I love the Flash. I love stuff like that. Or Lobo is another one I really enjoy. And so I'm looking forward to playing the DC United game. I wanted something that's kind of cool, and I like the fact that everything they did with Marvel United is now in the DC United. So everything for every set, they added something new. So the first set, they just taught you the system. The second set, which is the X-Men set, they started adding a little extra nuances because you have like all these cool powers and stuff like that. In the third set, or I think they also added weapons in the second set. In the third set, they added teams. All that stuff got thrown into the DC United stuff, and then a little bit more. I think there's like vehicles and you got pets and stuff like that in the DC United. So I'm looking forward to playing that. So DC United is my number 8. And the reason why it's my number 8 is because I have played the Marvel United system. I just pushed it to the back because I'm looking forward to it. I want more of this stuff.
Gotcha. Cool. I've made 3 guesses on which ones I think that are coming out from you.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. On to our number 7s.
This one is me. And my number 7 is the one that I already own. I just haven't taken it out of the shrink, haven't busted out. I recently received it last week or the week before, maybe 2 weeks ago. And it is a game that I'm okay with. I prefer the other one it gets compared to with, but I do like this style of game, and now it is a legacy version of this game, so I want to compare it to the legacy version of the other game.
Okay.
And this is Flashpoint Legacy of the Flame.
Intriguing. Okay, yeah.
I want to see how it compares to Pandemic Legacy, and the big part of it, too, about this one is it's a legacy game not designed by Rob Daviau.
Right.
And so I want to see how it compares to how Pandemic Legacy played.
Right.
How different it is. Because Flashpoint and Pandemic were always compared. We did a whole compare and contrast between the two games.
Yep.
And so...
Check out that episode.
Yeah. We just recently replayed Flashpoint because our friend Gamehead Geek wanted to play it again. And I remember I do like it. Yeah. There's a little fiddly stuff that I want to see if they fixed it in like the Legacy game. Sure. And I do love a good story and a good campaign, and who doesn't like firefighting games and that sort of stuff. So yeah, for me, my number 7 is Flashpoint Legacy of Flame. Like I said, I own it. I just haven't busted it out yet, so can't wait to get this one played this year.
Right. A quick comment on that. Out of my biggest argument against legacy games that have been coming out recently is I don't feel like the decisions that you make, I don't think has enough permanence or like actual branching storylines or things that matter in future games. I feel like Flashpoint Fire Rescue might have the best chances of that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
And so, because, you're literally damaging things with fire. Yeah. Who knows how that's going to...
And then you're firefighter, so who knows that you're actually going to get scars and stuff like that.
I'm very much looking forward to you playing this and letting me know if it's any good. Sorry, that's just how it is. All right, my number 7 is one from friend of the podcast publishers. This is a game I know very little about, except for one thing that I heard about from another podcaster. This is called Ham Helsing, and this is from Fireside Games, which, first off, I love Fireside Games. I love what they do.
Another one on my short list.
Yep, another one on the short list. And the reason I have this on my list is for one reason. They're Grant Lyons, of many podcasts or whatever. He does a lot of media stuff. Go check his stuff out. It's pretty good. Yeah. He said this is like Horrified, but you can upgrade your characters. I'm in.
It's basically the Horrified Legacy we've been wanting.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And then, like being able to upgrade your characters is such a cool idea. And, I don't know if this is designed by Justin DeWitt. I haven't looked into it that much. Yeah. I'll check here in a minute. But, it's from Fireside Games. And I really, really respect their ability to make great, substantive, cooperative games. So, Ham Helsing, and the Ham Helsing himself is just... He's pretty adorable. Yeah. So, that's my number 7.
Moving on to our number 6s.
Here we go.
Back to me. My number 6 is another game that is campaign style, and another one I'm looking forward to because it's based off a series of games. Really? Not a series. One game that I thoroughly enjoy. And my thing is, we need more Westerns. And this is Western Legends Stories.
Cool.
Now, this isn't a legacy as much as it's more of a campaign. So certain choices you make are going to give you different things that you're going to go through. But it doesn't really do any permanence to the board, from my understanding. But it's really neat how it looks. Again, I love campaign games. Gloomhaven is one of my favorite games of all time. It has a fantastic look on it. The boards are interesting because they're not like puzzle pieces. They're more along the lines of stuff you see in... what is that game you like? The Spirit Island. Where the boards are just kind of pieces, but they're not really puzzle pieces. So it looks really neat. I'm looking forward to getting this played. It has a fantastic look. I'm a big fan of Western Legends. It's in my top 100. it really needs, and plus the story in here, I want to see how it goes, because from what I saw, some of the stuff that they were announcing during the Kickstarter and all that, the stories look really good. Yeah. And so for me, it is Western Legends Stories.
Yeah, that one does sound really intriguing, and I'm glad it's not a legacy. I'm glad it's a campaign. You know, so like you're not worried about the permanence, but you can focus on different things, and if it gives you a good story, then that makes it that makes it better. All right, cool. My number 6 is a game that I just know a little bit about. I can guess how it works by the components I've seen, and the cover is real pretty, and it looks like something that I would just be right in my alley. One of my favorite mechanisms was tile laying, and this is a tile laying game called Fountains. From the op. Have you seen this at all?
I've seen bits and pieces of it. The new one I want to see or play is Hutan.
Yeah, Hutan looks cool too. The reason I like Fountains quite a bit is because you have these very irregular shaped tiles. Like it looks almost like there's a circular one, of course. There's one where it's like a crescent, you know, that fits into that. There's one where it's like it looks almost like a star pattern, so it fit in between the circle ones. And so there's a lot of like ways that these circles and pieces could like fit together in different ways that it just makes me really intrigued. I really like the water theme of it. I always liked games that have like a water theme, natural like building things. Like it just brings me to like the Italian fountains that have like the cascading falls on it. Yeah. It just looks really pretty. Looks fun. I don't know much about the gameplay mechanism, but it looks like a tile laying game that I would be rather charmed with. So Fountains from the op.
Our number 5s.
Number 5. Here we go. Starting off with me. My number 5 is a game that I think might be on your list. I don't know. But this is coming from AEG. And this game is a card crafting game. Which normally that means John DeClaire, right? And we're big fans of John DeClaire. This isn't John DeClaire. This is Phil Walker Harding using card crafting called Misfit Heroes. Alright, we'll see if it's on your list later. I don't know. That's my guess. But anyway, I mean, it's just that alone, right? It has the provenance of Phil Walker Harding, already a designer that we really enjoy. Card crafting system, which I generally tend to like. He always has the ability to make like super cool upgradable stuff. Like things flow together really cleanly. I'm always impressed with his designs, and so that's why I'm excited to try it. Misfit Heroes. Other than that, I don't really know much about it.
All right, so the next game on my list, number 5 for me, is a game by Matthew Dunstan coming from WizKids. It is a city building game. A very famous fantasy city. This is Dungeons and Dragons Builders of Baldur's Gate. I am intrigued by this one. I don't know too much about it. It just intrigues me. Because what you're doing is you're building up the city. It's a city building game of Baldur's Gate, which is in the Dungeons and Dragons world. I think Forgotten Realms, I think, is the actual world it's supposed to be in, the realm. Like but what's neat about Baldur's Gate, I'm a big fan of the video game that just recently came out, Baldur's Gate 3. Still haven't beat it because I just get distracted, and sometimes long games, I lose interest. But I love what this is doing. And not only is it a city building game, you also have to defend said city building game because it's a city in Dungeons and Dragons and things are going to attack it.
Yeah, things are going to get real.
It looks really cool. It looks really neat. I'm not a huge fan of WizKids games, especially like their bigger ones. I don't like the looks of them. Yeah. But this one intrigues me. And I am a fan of Matthew Dunstan's. He's kind of cooled off of me lately. I usually like a lot of his stuff when it's co-designed. Like his designs on his own, I'm kind of hit or miss, but this one looks intriguing to me.
Yeah, but his ability to bring like an IP to the forefront is really good, pretty fun. Yeah, I mean, like he really brought up the Minecraft card game. That's a fun little game. All right, number 4.
Number 4.
Here we go. Sorry, off of me again.
No, I'm taking it.
Oh. Okay,
number 4 is the crossover you just called. It is from AEG, Phil Walker Harding. I'm just anticipating it more than you. Everything you said about it, the card crafting looks really cool. The fact that you're crafting heroes, that's what the card crafting is. Yeah. You're making the heroes. Looks really neat. It's Phil Walker Harding. What he does and the way he designs things is just fantastic. He basically boils down as one of the most streamlined games you'll ever play. I really do like a lot of what you said about it too. I've been a fan of AEG stuff recently too. They've been putting out some decent games. And Phil Walker Harding, hasn't really put out anything that I haven't disliked, except for that one game where it's Heroes, but that was like one of his first designs. So he's really come into his own for me.
Cool. All right. Yeah, my actual number 4 was one that was just teased at the GAMA, and the owner of the company said, "Yeah, I haven't really said anything much about this, but I'm saying something about it right now." And so this is the owner of Happy Camper Games, which makes Trio, and they make small card games. Now the thing is, the owner of this company, he was one of the lead developers at GameRight, and so his ability to find really clever, really small, but intriguing games already is exciting to me. And I want to try a lot of the others that this company has come out with. Well, what he said about this is called Four Doors. Have you heard about this one yet?
No.
Cool. Four Doors is a small, portable, cooperative game from Matt Leacock coming out from in like a game right style. So from what I understand, it's probably just minimal amount of tokens, maybe some cards, right? Like probably a small deck of cards. Small, portable, cooperative Matt Leacock game. You got me sold.
Yeah.
I'm in. From the developer at Game Right, like come on, like he was the lead developer. And Trio shows it, right? You know, we played Trio.
Well, Trio's not his design, though.
It's not his design, but I'm saying you could tell that that's the flavor they're going with.
Yeah, because it's a reprint of a Japanese game. I can't think of the name of it.
No, you can tell that that's the style they're going with.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, no, I love Trio. Yeah. I'm one of the few people that actually like Trio. A lot of people are like hit or miss with that game.
Really? Oh, I like it a lot.
I like it a lot, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it's fantastic. So, Trio...
Not Trio.
Was the reason why I'm excited about Four Doors, which I think he just teased very briefly at like a Dice Tower video. So, Four Doors.
All right, flip the coin for number 3.
Number 3. Here we go.
All right, this one is me. This is another one that is a reprint of a game I already own, but it has an IP on it that I thoroughly love, and that's why it's my number 3, because this is something I'm really anticipated for. I backed the Kickstarter on it. I think most of our group is really happy of it. It's in one of my favorite series of Unmatched. It's the Tales to Amaze Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I am really looking forward to this one. I'm a big fan of the Ninja Turtles. I grew up watching the Ninja Turtles as a kid. I love everything about it. Plus, it's Unmatched. What I really like about this one is that, unlike Tales to Amaze, the villains are getting their own deck of cards that you could take into the competitive game. So I can play Shredder versus Bigfoot. I could play Shredder versus the Ninja Turtles, or Krang versus Robin Hood, or Medusa, or Houdini for that matter. It's really neat how all that works. And then, again, it's Ninja Turtles. You're going to have the Ninja Turtles. You're going to have Splinter. You're going to have April O'Neil. All the stuff I thoroughly love about Unmatched. They're bringing in one of my favorite IPs on top of it. And I have every other thing of Unmatched. So why am I not going to be excited for one of my favorite IPs being added to it? So Unmatched, Tales to Amaze, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right, my number 3 is the game that I have played already. And so just to be clear, this is my buddies up in Level 99 Games, designed by Brad Talton. This is like Horrified, except you are the monsters. It's competitive. And you have about 20 different monsters to play from, and that's what makes Spooktacular one of my most anticipated games. It lives up to what they're saying about it. You know, it works very simply. You're moving around this haunted house. You're each a different monster in the Spooktacular universe. There's 20 to come with, that comes with the games. You move around, you scare the people, you get points by spooking them away or devouring them. Each character works in a totally different way. Like when I played, I was Boombox, a killer Boombox. Brad was a chef. Our friend Josh was another game, or another character that I forgot. He was like the Rockstar one. Super cool looking. We had a blast playing it. It plays quick, just like as you would expect Horrified to play. And I love just the pieces and components that's with it. So Spooktacular, I'm very glad I backed this.
Nice.
Very glad.
I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, it was on my short list.
Yep.
All right, number 2s.
Number 2s. Here we go. Starting with me.
All right, go ahead.
I'm curious if we're gonna. No, we're probably not gonna have any more crossovers.
No.
Because my number 2 is a game that is the next one in the Alea series of the really pretty covers that are coming out. This is called the Druids of Eudora, and this was the most recent Stefan Feld announcement. It has very little information on the Board Game Geek. Yeah, very little information on the Board Game Geek that I saw about it. But what it did say is you are appeasing like the druids by cleverly manipulating and placing dice. Sounds like a Stefan Feld if I've ever heard one. But yeah, So
hopefully it's not as mean as the other Druid game that he came up
probably not.
with.
It doesn't look like it is. I don't know. I don't even know if it's.
Sorry, the other two. Bonfire was it?
Bonfire was one of them.
Luna.
Yeah. There's some ongoing things, but it looks like they're finally fixing like this new line. They're having much better like art and graphic design.
So not brown and greens is what you're saying.
It's not brown and green. No, it's really. Well, I think it's very like vibrant green, but because it is Druids, right?
Yeah,
That would make sense. But the cover looks like they're actually trying to take that detail into consideration. And I really like the Shadows of the Council, the Shadow Council. Like that game, I liked what they were doing there. So I'm curious to see where this next Feld is going to go.
All right, my number 2 is one I've mentioned before when we were talking about like our news or something like that. Yeah. It's the new Danny Garcia game that's supposed to be coming out this year. And it's my style of game.
I should have guessed this one.
And this is coming of age. And it's just that. It's based on like coming of age from the 80s and 90s and growing up in that generation. So think something like Pursuit of Happiness. Everybody's enamored with that game. Mm-hmm. I've been liking the Danny Garcia designs. I own 2 now. I still got to get Arborea played. I think that's going to be one of my next picks. But I really like how this looks. I love the art on it. Because I'm looking at my notes over here and I put art, but it looks like an F because I can't read my own handwriting.
Fair enough.
But it looks like a really fun game. Looks really cool. Like I said, I like Danny Garcia. I wish him nothing but the best because of his recent diagnosis. So, well, we'll see what's going on there. I'm looking forward to getting it played though. It looks really, really good, and that is Coming of Age.
Very cool. And now to our number 1 most anticipated game. Boom, I'll start us off. This was the game that I just saw literally, now it's been 30 minutes ago. I saw this on Board Game Geek, and I had no idea anything about it. And I saw the cover, and that got me intrigued. This is 2001: A Space Odyssey, the board game.
Of course you would.
Of course I would. I like the movie a lot. I think this was really intriguing. I was like, okay.
The movie's fine. It gets boring at times.
Sure, yeah. It's a little long-winded. But I was like, okay, they're taking a cool theme, a cool IP, bringing it to it. Freaking Phil Walker Harding is designing it. I don't know anything else. That's all you need to tell me. Number 1 anticipated game. Go ahead.
You already know what my number 1 is.
Let's see here. Can I guess it?
You should.
This is going to be Vantage, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I figured that.
So much so that it's so anticipated for me. I already have the metal coins for the game. There was a pre-order for the metal coins for the game. It's a new Stonemaier, made by Jamie Stegmaier. And the thing that intrigues me the most is that it's open world co-op. This is the first co-op game from Stonemaier Games as well.
That's really stretching the definition of coin, isn't it?
Yeah. So it has me intrigued so much so when they announced the game and they put the metal coins on pre-order last year just to gauge anticipation, I bought them immediately. Oh. So yeah, Vantage is my number 1. It's a Stonemaier game, so I'm always going to be intrigued by it. Yeah. But the fact that it is an open world co-op, first off, you don't see a lot of open world games. Western Legends is one of the few that did it really well. Yeah. And the fact that it's co-op, something Stonemaier has never done before. So
is this campaign?
I don't know if it's campaign. The only thing I know so far, because they haven't released a lot of information about it, is that it's open world and it's co-op. And it's been in production for almost 10 years or something like that. Yeah. So ever since Breath of the Wild came out, the Zelda game, he's been trying to produce this. Cool. So other than that, my number 1, Vantage.
I'm honestly surprised Horrified D&D was not on this list.
It was on my short list. The only thing is, the Horrified games haven't really changed anything. It is literally the main games. Oh. Other than DC United and Unmatched, because of the IPs that they put on there. Mm-hmm. Honestly, the D&D IP is fine for me. But I'd rather play the Greek one more so because I like the Greek gods and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. Do we want to do any honorable mentions, or was there any?
You mentioned a lot of my honorable mention stuff, so.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw some out there. Some of the names that I found that I wanted to talk about real quick. Edge Quest, which is super cool. Have you seen anything about that? Mm-mm. It's a 2-player, so you'd hate it, but it's a 2-player fencing game, and you have a figure that's posable, and you have a magnetic board, and so your feet that move around can actually hold up the figure, and you're changing stances and stuff. I saw a prototype of that. That's really cool. Starleap looks cool. Cosmic Crafter. Pandemic, Lord of the Rings, the new Agricola, the Dead Harvest one.
Oh yeah, the what? Not the Agricola the one, but the Cosmic one, Crafter.
Yeah.
That intrigued me a little bit.
Yeah. There's a new Code Names that's coming out. I know. It intrigues me. That apparently does something a little bit new. Right? So I don't know much about that. There's Wardens from Level 99. Their first miniatures like skirmish game. Super cool. There was a game called Bazaar of Samarkand, which combines like multiple Sid Saxon games together, which is pretty cool. Moon Colony Bloodbath, Don't Burn My Village, The Sheep, where you have to take care of your sheep like farmers, standard farming style ranching, but at the end, every night phase, they turn into weird demonic creatures that you have to like survive from.
Mm-hmm.
So that's weird. Up and Down and Mega Jackpot. Those are just some of the ones that we saw that looked really intriguing. So, with that being said, we hope you have enjoyed today's episode. If you ever want to email us directly, you sure can. Email us at everydayboardgames2020@gmail.com. And we also have an Instagram, instagram.com/everydayboardgames.
As well as all video re-uploads and reviews are found on youtube.com/everydayboardgames. If you like what we do, there are 3 things you can do to help us grow on the platform. Subscribe if you're not, like the video, and comment down below and tell us your thoughts on the subject.
And also, we stream live at twitch.tv/everydayboardgames. Join us in, like some of our friends, anybody who joined in on the chat today. Either lurk in the background or join in on the conversation as we're playing our episode.
And all audio versions can be found on most podcast platforms under Everyday Board Games Podcast. This includes Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, and Apple.
And we want to thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I've been your host, Daniel.
And I've been your host, Daniel.
And we're looking forward to a new game of years. And thank you for listening to Everyday Board Games.
Remember, every day is a good day for board gaming.